Today, we'll be mastering Modern Language Association or MLA Style. This is one of the citation and formatting guidelines that we must use and you will be using in your 4-year journey here at Western. These are used for linguistic and language studies like essays and all those, to give credit to the authors and the resources that you will be using in your writing. We learn the basics like the general format and the citation styles here. So general format, make sure that your margins 1 inch per side. Go to your menu bar, File, Page Setup. Make sure it's all 1 here. Okay. Next, you should have a line and paragraph spacing that is doubled. So what you will do is highlight everything. Shortcut would be Control A. Go to your toolbar, click that line and paragraph spacing. That should be doubled. In your title, make sure it's center aligned and then bold. And since it is a title, first letter should be capitalized for each word except for some articles and conjunctions. If you scroll down, there's also considered a kind of like a title. This is your works cited page, still bold. Go there in your toolbar, center align, make sure this is capitalized, and since you have 3 here, that would be works cited. For your essay, for each paragraph, it should be indented in the first line. So click that one, click Tab, okay. Alright, so far so good. Now you need to change here, first name and last name. Okay, not just your first name. Then if you write your teacher, make sure there's a title like Mr. or Miss or Mrs. Sir William. Your class name would be, and then your period as well. And for your date, we must follow the date, month, and year format. And then your month should just be the shortest or short version, like August 23, 2025. Get rid of the word date and the parentheses. Okay. Now, this is optional, but you can use your, you can add header. This is actually for an actual research paper, but what you can do is double space this portion, or double click, I mean, then write your last name, and then in the option, click page number, and apply. So that if you check that one, there will be page numbers. Alright. Next, in the works cited page, this is the page where you can see the list of resources that you've used in your essay. There are format as well for this one. First, it should have a separate page. Even though there's spacing here and we want to save it, I want you to master that one and to stick with that there should be, it should be in a separate page. Next, it should the list should be in alphabetical order. Mostly here, these are just the last names, so make it alphabetical order as well. So let's start with B, of course, then C here. Okay, that's the first format for works cited. What if there's no author? So you get rid of the author, and that should start in S, so it should be here. All right? That's only if there's no author in the resource that you have, which is most unlikely. All right, next should be in the works cited resources, it should follow the hanging indent format. What is that? This is hanging indent format. Okay, what is that? That is that there's a spacing or indentation in the second line for each resource. So what you will do is highlight all your resources. If you see this ruler thing, move it to the right to 0.50 and click that rectangular shape, move it to the left again, back to 0. Let's click this again here. So then move this backward again. So you can see here there's spacing. So that's what we called hanging indent. Okay, so you need to follow that as well. So basically this is already okay, but as you can see here there's a spacing. That's fine, but what I suggest is that get rid of that spacing. How will you do it? This should be done. This could be done only manually. Make sure click any letter there and then click space. That will move the specific lines up. Or we could use this, or we could use this. Okay, then of course this became blue again. What you will do is highlight this part, change the color to black again, then click underline, and there you go. So that's how your works cited should look like. All right, so we're done with the general format here. Okay. Make sure there's no extra space in there. Right, now let's do the most important part. That is the citation itself. So a citation is used to give credit to the authors and the resources to avoid plagiarism, because you cannot just take others' work as if it is your own. That's illegal in a sense. Right? So what you will do to give credit to the authors and the resources, there are two ways you can do that. Number one is to mention or what we usually do is we list down the complete resources or references in your works cited page. This is very common. I know you're very familiar with this. But the problem is, most of you just copy paste the link here. No, there's a format that you need to follow, like the name, the author's names, the title, the publisher, the date, so on and so forth. But we'll learn that later on. All right? But again, there's two ways that we can give credit to the author. Number one is in the works cited page. And then second, we call it in-text citation. What is that? So we give credit to the authors, list down all our resources in the works cited, but in-text citation, we don't usually do this. I don't know if you've done this, but what we do is give credit or mention the author or authors in your sentence. All right, let's try to examine this real quick. Okay, so here we have a reason for a gap here. So this is the reasons why there should be a gap here: to save money, a clear sense of career path, and then better grades. So this is the first reason here, elaborated here. But the second reason, as you can observe, he used resources in here, like Colin Conroe, and then here Conroe again. So this is important now. This is what we call in-text citation. If you give credit to the author in your sentence, that is what we call in-text citation. All right? And in an MLA, we follow an author page style. That means you must use the author's last name and the page number in there. There are two types of in-text citation. Number one is narrative style, and then the second one would be the parenthetical style. All right, what's the difference? Here's the thing, all right? If you use a direct quotation from the author, or even paraphrase the thoughts of the author, you need to mention their names to give credit to them in your sentence. How will you do it? First, we could have a parenthetical style. So as you can see here, he or the author of this essay used a direct quotation, as there is a quotation mark. So this first is what we call parenthetical style. Parenthetical style is when you use or mention the author's last name and page number in the last part of the sentence before the period in the parentheses. That's what we call parenthetical style. We use page number if there's a page number in that article, like a PDF, online PDF, or it's a book. But mostly if you use just articles and research, if there's no page number, just get rid of page number and write the last name. Again, this is what we call parenthetical style. Place the author's last name in the last part of your sentence in the parentheses. That's parenthetical style. The other style is what we call narrative style. Narrative style is when you use or mention the author's last name in the beginning of your sentence. For example, here, Conroy says before, and then you get rid of this and then replace it with the page number if there is. If there's no page number, get rid of that, put the period inside a quotation mark in that sense. This is what we call narrative style. Narrative style. Again, if you use a direct quotation from a resource or paraphrase his or her thoughts, and you need to mention them in your sentence, the author's last name and the page number through either a narrative style or parenthetical style. That's how you give credit to the author. This is MLA Style we use both works cited and in-text citation. Thank you. God bless you.